have decided that now that I've made Wonka's treats, that I'm ready to take on discard baking, in addition to the regular sourdough. Wonka is obsessed with the treats, and I have been wanting to make cinnamon rolls for a while. However, I do feel like that is a little bit advanced, so I'm going to start out with cinnamon cake. To do that, I have to have enough discard though, and all the recipes I find talk about cup measurements, and I have done everything to date in grams, so I'm a little bit intimidated by the conversion. I thought I had plenty of discard for Wonka's treats, but it ended up taking almost all of it. So I'm devising a new plan. Instead of keeping the tiny starter, I'm going to increase it from 15 grams of starter to 25, and from 60 grams of water and flour to 100. So I should hit the cup measurement quicker and then can bake more. I'm actually really excited for this. So I have 2 of the big jars that I will be keeping in the fridge, and every time I feed Basil and Dot, I will put the discard into the fridge. It's good as long as it's used within 2 to 3 weeks, but if I keep baking, that will never be a problem. So now I have to figure out a new baking schedule. Not that I ever stuck to the first one that I made, but now that I'm trying to branch out, I think it is going to be necessary. So part of my plan for today is measuring and figuring out all the measurements. How much flour do I need to buy every week? I'm also trying to figure out how to use my camera instead of my phone for this. I have a perfectly good camera just sitting there because I no longer do my photography. My mounts for the phone are either broken, so I have to use the countertop one, or not high enough because I have to use a countertop one. I have a tripod that I thought was going to be perfect, but the top part that the camera mounts to is loose and just flops straight down, which you would think wouldn't be a problem, except that it's literally 180 degrees straight down. There is no 45-degree angle to be seen. So I had to finagle it, and I'm not even sure that this is a viable angle. I would just buy a camera mount, but we are still unsure exactly what is happening with the finances. Ron thinks he's getting paid on Friday, but if not, we're out until I get paid on the 3rd Wednesday, which thank God is at least next week. So until then, I will just have to make it work. I'm trying to work on really staying present again. I'm getting impatient for the receipt verification for the documents I sent as the first step to moving to be with my mom. I sent them the documents in mid-March, and online it says that it can take up to 60 days to receive the verification of receipt, which we're about there. But then I read that some complex applications can take up to 90 days. Right now, an answer is 10 months away, so that part isn't really bothering me. But the receipt that they have received and confirmed my application complete is starting to. This is a complex application. It included both me and my daughter. My mom and I have 7 name changes between the 2 of us, and I had to gather all the documents to show the connection from one name to the next. It was a lot of work, but I got it and I double-checked it and I sent it in. I didn't think it would be something that would get to me because I wrote it off as I'll get my answer in a year. But the receipt was a sneaky I wasn't anticipating. I still maintain that even if the actual answer in a year is no, we are still going to move. It just makes this long distance move a little more difficult with a little extra paperwork. My mom and I have been talking about options. To move onto her land, we have to dig a well and a septic system, as well as level the ground to be able to move a mobile home onto it. That is a costly process and can only be done during certain times of the year. My mom lives up north, so late fall to early spring, there is just no digging. The ground is just too frozen. I remember my great-grandparent dying and going months later to the burial. My mom is worried that I will have to sacrifice the quality of my home to accommodate the expenses of moving it and setting it up. My husband's 401k is not that high. Ron and I have already talked about that it would probably be better to purchase a move-in ready home and pay it almost, if not completely off, and then save money to move it in a few years. My mom was like, as much as I want you right across my driveway, I want you to have a good, safe home. What do you think of that option? And I told her that we had already talked about it and that I think it's a better option that would be doable any time of the year, and we wouldn't have to worry about the ground being thawed out. We can do it in a few summers, as long as we keep our expenses down. Without a mortgage or even just a small one, it should be doable. I am excited for this. For years, I struggled with Mother's Day. Now I can't wait to be her neighbor, and I couldn't be more grateful for how this healing has let me have a second chance with my mom. And I can't wait to go on this next adventure of moving 425 miles away.